Okay, so we want to look at how to create automatic table of content. So to create automatic table of content, you must have typed your project or your work that you want to work on. You must have finished typing everything and put your chapters and the sub chapters and so on, whatever you want on it. So how do we now make it um, automatic so that the essence of using this automatic is when later you do modifications and then the chapters now go from one number to another, instead of you going back and start looking at the page and go and correct again, so you take it to your supervisor will say go and modify again, then you start looking at where number one is and two. So to do that, there is a way we can do it automatically. Instead of going through the stress, you just do table updates. It will update the table and put the numbers where they are supposed to be. So we want to see how we can do that. So I have a text on my screen now that I want us to use. So this is it. I'm using this as chapter 1. I'm using this one as chapter 2 and so on. So let's see how we can fix this. The first thing we have to do is select our chapter 1, the one we want to use as chapter 1. Then come here under stars. Click on the star, and this heading 1 is what we want to use for our chapters. So you right click on the heading 1 and modify. Then change this to Times New Roman because that's the font we use. And then I want the size of the heading to be 16. You change it to 16. I want it to be bold. Then I want the color to be black, like this. So then I also want it, anytime I click on it, I want it to be centralized. Then click OK. Then it's going to give me that result. So let's go back to my heading now and click on it. So I have my chapter 1 centralized with the font type and size. So and I now have sub chapters. So this one I want it to be my background. So let's treat it as our background. So I'll select it. Instead of using my heading 1, I'll go to heading 2. I'll do the same modification. Then I'll come here, change this to Times New Roman again. I want it to be 12. I want it to be bold. I also want it to be black. Then I want it to retain the left alignment and click OK. So it's going to be like that. So I'll go back there, click on my heading 2, and it will apply it. So we are treating this as our background. Okay, let me just type it. So we are treating this as our background. Okay. So we go to the next one. I want to treat this as my statement of the problem. This one here, I don't need to do modification anymore. I'll just click on my heading 2, it will apply it. So I want it to be statement of the problem, like that. So we'll go again. What other thing do we want under that? So, so significance. We'll select it, pick our heading 2, and make it significance. Am I right? Significance, right? Or cans, okay. Significance of the study. So like that. So we'll keep adding it like that until we now get to our chapter 2. So this is my chapter 2 right here. So we can see that the chapter 2 was going down. It happened like that because I did Ctrl Z, so I did not have the page break that we did earlier. So if I had it now, it will not push it. There is nothing I had here that will push it down. It will only take it to the next page. Okay, that is settled. Now my chapter 2. So what am I going to do to chapter 2? I'm done with chapter 1. You can do any other thing you want to do. Let's just continue. Let's just follow what I'm doing. Now I'm going to chapter 2 now. Chapter 2, instead of doing any other thing, I'll just click on heading 1 again for it. Because all chapters will use heading 1. So I'll click on heading 1. You can see what it has done. It has taken my chapter 2 to the center. Now, under my chapter 2, what are the subs that we want under our chapter 2? What are the subs we want under our chapter 2? Oh, conceptual. So I'll just do conceptual like that. So I'll select it, and then what am I going to pick? Heading 2. Good. So I'll click on heading 2. So I have my conceptual. So what else? Empirical. So enter empirical, 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 empirical. So I'll select it and pick my heading 2. Then theory. So I'll go to this and make it theory. Select it and make it theoretical, like that. So I'll select it again and click on heading 2. Are we following? Okay, so we'll go to chapter 3 again. What am I going to do to this? I'll pick heading 1, like that, to make it, to take it to the center. And then I want to have methodology here. So I'll select this and have methodology, my heading 2. Methodology. So and so on. So okay, let me add research design so that to make it comprehensive. Enter research design. Now research design, I'll select it like this and click on heading 2. So like that, you do everything until you get to the last page. So when you are not done with everything you are doing, what you will now do is you come back here to the top of the page. So I want to send this chapter 1. I want to send it down. So I'll click here and click my page break. You remember this, right? So I'll click on my page break. It will take it down. So here, I want this place to be my table of contents. Do we understand that? I want my table of contents to be on the first page. So I sent my chapter 1 to the second page to have a blank page. I clicked on it and I did page break. What we did earlier. Then page break, and it will send it down. So I want, so now, sorry, Control Z. I want to send it down, insert, and page break. So I've sent it down. So this first one here, this is where I want my table of contents to be. Now, to bring in the table of contents now, everything that we have been doing since morning, to bring it here, we will now come here under references. So click on references and click on table of contents here. References here. So we select references and come under table of contents. Then click automatic table here. You can pick anyone that you like here. So in this case, I'm picking the first one. So when I click on it, this is what I will have. You can see now. So we said chapter 1, then background is under chapter 1. This one is here, this one is here. Chapter 2, this one is here, this one is here. Chapter 3, this one is here, this one is here. So, okay. If you have 3.1, you use heading 3. If you want that, you use heading 4. Heading 5. So do we understand it now? Now let me now show you where the magic is. So as it is now, let's say I decide to take my chapter 2. You can see that my chapter 2 is on page 3. If maybe I take it to my supervisor and the supervisor said I should go and work on it, and at the end of the day my chapter 2 now travels to page 6 after correction. It now travels to page 6. You know, if you are doing it manually, you have to go and print first, then be looking at the page and then be putting it there. So how do we now fix that problem? So let me send this down. We'll go back to our insert and then let's just send it down like 3 or 4 times. So we have it now on page 8 now. So if we now go to our table of contents, all we just need to do is click our table of contents and click update table. So when you click update table, it will ask me if I want to update the page number only or I want to update the entire table. What that means is that if I have done some modifications to the heading and the likes, it's going to take effect here. So let's now do our page number only. So if I say update page number only and click on it, our chapter 2, is on page 3. So if I click OK now, look at what will happen. Automatically, it has changed it to page 8. So it will go and check for where that chapter 2 is. And then I put the number here for me automatically. So you don't have to trouble yourself. No, because we don't have anything on page 3 anymore. It's blank now. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is blank now. But if you have something there, you will definitely see it. Now, this is our chapter. Let's now say I did not just uh, change the location of chapter 2. I've done modification. Instead of this chapter 2 now, let's say I want to change this to chapter 2, like this. And I want it to also take effect in my... Now, this conceptual framework, I'll be conceptual review. So I want to add review. Empirical. Okay, let's just keep it like, let's say this is what we have done. And again, I want to send it to page 9. So I'll do page break again. It has taken it to page 9. So let's go back up now. Instead of the table alone that we did earlier, we will now do update, and no, instead of number alone, we'll do update entire table. So it's going to update the text modification and update the page number. So you can see that the page is on page 8 now, and this one is page 9. So when I do update now, this will turn to page 9 and this will turn to page 10. So let's do it now and do update. You can see now our chapter 2 has changed to chapter 2. Conceptual, we now have review, and this is page 10, and we have the number as page 9. So, so this alone now has solved so many problems. So you don't need to bother yourself about it. Just continue doing your work. Now I'll work on it and send it to us by God's grace. Okay, so that is that about that. Another thing I want us to look at. If you look at this table of content now, it has this dotted line in front. Chapter 1 dotted line, the number. But I think UI, they don't normally have this dotted line. You just go and put your 2 where it's supposed to be. Some people, okay, some accept it. Okay, so in case you come across, if your department does not support it, this is what you are going to do. To fix the problem, you go to under references, come back to references, go to your table of content here, then come down here to custom table of contents. Click on it, and then it will bring you here. So under this table leader, click on it. Instead of having this dot, say none, and click on OK. Then click OK to replace table of contents, and then we'll have it. Do we understand that? So this is how to do our automatic table of contents. Any question?